walk us through those late innings and just your thoughts on the game today?
Yeah, first and foremost, that was my fault. Ben, 3 out of 4 days, he wasn't his normal self, and that's my fault. So, and I told him that. That's a deal where you turn it over to a guy like that, but 3 out of 4 days, it's that was the biggest thing I kicked myself about. But I thought Caven did really well. I thought Louis threw the ball good, and then in terms of the name of the game, Kyle Ayers, to be able to keep them off the scoreboard and give us an opportunity to win. Like Sammy, I thought their guy came in and threw those breaking balls and was really, really good. The bases loaded, nobody out, and striking out the side. So that tells you how good the breaking ball was. And then Sammy had an opportunity again, and like he did, I think a couple days ago, they all started running together, but similar type hit for a win.
Kyle said he's been working on that fastball all offseason, getting up to 98.
Yeah.
How nice is it to have that kind of element out of your work?
It is, and I was super excited for Kyle because it hasn't been easy for him so far this season. And for him to come in a game where, there's a lot on the line and, pitch his best that he's been at TCU, at least during the regular season. We've seen him like that, leading up to the year, but, he did a really good job of mixing pitches, and Coach Lon did a really good job calling pitches. And the fastball, like you said, you got to get it going. You got to get the bat going when you're sitting at 98. And I thought he did a good job with his secondary stuff as well.
Coach, totally 5.1 innings today. Can you talk about his performance on the mound starting today?
Did he go 5 1/3?
Yeah, but he was 4 innings.
I thought he was just okay. The big part in the game for me was when he balked, and I went out there to argue it just to kind of almost have a timeout where they had some momentum, and then I thought he found his secondary against the next two hitters and was able to get out of the inning. I thought that was huge in terms of not letting that get, from 3-2 to 4-2 or even more. So again, he hasn't hit his stride yet in terms of it. He's been solid. It's just a matter of kind of eliminating some of the walks, which has gotten him into trouble.
What did you tell your team after the game? What was your message to them after this?
Well, I'll always bet on them. No matter what it looks like, they have an opportunity to. They're just gritty. They're a gritty club that plays for each other. And when we struck out, bases loaded, struck out the side, you knew it was going to come back around to a guy like Sam Myers, and he delivered. So, now it's back to 0-0 mentality and learning from tonight, or today into tonight, and then showing up tomorrow with the same desire to win, and not putting your feet up, man. Any team in the country can beat anybody, and so we have to show up tomorrow ready to play, and that was the message. It's, you got to show up. It's 0-0. You have to have that desire to win and play good baseball, and so this game's behind us now.
Kind of a corny question, but Kirk, did it kind of feel a little bit like a postseason game?
A little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit, just because there was some punches back and forth.
Yeah.
I caught myself a couple times in the dugout thinking to myself, I hope these guys understand this is kind of a regional type, game where it's almost like it's do or die.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like in terms of what they did in the ninth, and then for us to respond back in the ninth. That's what the postseason comes down to too, is situations like that and it not getting too big. And I thought both sides did a really good job of handling their emotions, and I thought it was a good game overall.
You're 10-0 now. What does that say about this ball club?
Well, it means they've won 10 games, but it's been in a bunch of different ways, which I think is awesome because it hasn't always been easy, but they just find a way. Winners win, and I think there's a lot of winners in our dugout, and that they're never out of a game. And so when you have a lot of guys that believe that and know that and understand how and what it takes to win, you're going to have games like this, and you're going to have opportunities to win every game. And that's our goal, is not to win in the first. Our job is to make sure that we have an opportunity to win the ball game in the ninth or after.